Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Nick Tan Chats, my magic and mostly mentalism review show. My name is Nick Tan, and on today's episode, I'll be chatting with you guys about CTRL-C, released by Christopher Rawlins. So hi again guys, welcome back to the channel, and as always, thanks for tuning in and spending some time with me today. So in today's episode, I'll be chatting with you guys about something called CTRL-C. Alright, now the moment Chris actually contacted me, to do this review episode, I was immediately kind of nervous. I felt a kind of pressure that was, put upon me, because if you have been following the progress of this particular release on the forums, alright, on forums and also online, you will know that there has been quite a bit of controversy. I think it's also been something that's, discussed quite a lot, and people have been, there's been a lot of speculation going on online about what this exactly is, and also the high price point, right? Because CTRL-C actually, retails for $200, right? So it's not cheap, and I think that also kind of sparked people's concerns, and they actually demanded to know exactly what CTRL-C is before they, shell out their money. And so, the pressure that I feel, alright, coming into this particular episode is because of a couple of things. First of all, I know Chris, and because of that, I kind of, understand where he's coming from when releasing this particular thing. Also, at the same time, myself being also, someone who buys magic and mentalism, I also completely understand the mindset of potential buyers, right? Like yourself, if you're watching this video, obviously you are, interested in CTRL-C, right? So I perfectly understand what you guys are thinking as well. It's $200, and you really want to know exactly everything that, what exactly it is you're getting, right? You want to see a full uncut performance, you want to know what is it that you get exactly. You want to know if this is like totally new, to warrant that kind of a price point. And so because I'm kind of put in a very strange position of knowing like both sides of the coin, I do find it a little bit difficult to talk about this, in a responsible manner, all right, to fulfill, the needs of consumers like yourself, and also at the same time to remain responsible to Chris, all right, because this is his product. If he doesn't want to reveal certain things about it, that's his choice, right? And also, the price point that he is charging for this is also his choice. Whether you agree or not with it, well, it really is his thing, right? So I hope that after this particular review, you will be able to, make a better informed decision as to whether this is for you or not. Don't listen to just me, of course. Just recently, Luca Volpe also has done a rather comprehensive and a rather great review episode as well for CTRL-C, right, on his review show called Breakfast Mentalism, okay, over on his Facebook group. So if you are really interested in CTRL-C, I strongly urge you also check out that review. Don't just listen to me, because he covers some really great points, okay. But for now, let's get into what I think about CTRL-C. So CTRL-C is actually something that Chris shared with me over an online Zoom call, all right, just about a year ago, all right. We got online into a Zoom meeting, and we were discussing something else, all right, other of his routines, and he also, very kindly let me in on this secret of his called CTRL-C. So from that point onwards, just about a year ago, knowing what it was, I thought it was really clever. However, I have not used it at all. Okay, so in full disclosure, this is something that I have not personally performed. Now, the reason why I've not performed using this particular method to do a drawing duplication is because, well, it's not that I don't think it's a good method. Okay, it's not because I don't like it, it's not because it doesn't work well or anything like that. It is just because of preference. I think I can tell you this much, okay? If you're looking for a brand new method of some kind, okay, this is not it. Okay, it's not like a brand new method, okay, because the basic concept, the method itself, has been around for many years. In fact, I first learned of this concept, I don't know, 10 years ago maybe, and even though, knowing about it from then, I have never once used it from then until now. I've never performed with this method, and it's not because I don't like the method, it's not because I don't like the concept. It is really just down to preference. At the end of the day, I still get the information that I need, all right, using this method or some other method which I prefer using. So they really just kind of accomplish the same basic ends. It's just really about how comfortable you are about using this method. Okay, so it's not something that I prefer to use, and therefore I've not used it at all. So as I mentioned earlier, all right, Control-C is a way of performing a drawing duplication, a really clean looking drawing duplication, all right, with some conditions which if you sell really well, okay, if you sell properly, there really is kind of like a test conditions feel to the drawing duplication. Well, so first of all, what will you receive when you purchase Control-C? Okay, so well, what you'll receive and what I have received is completely different. Okay, because for me, due to efficiency, okay, in doing this review, Chris has just sent me a PDF copy of a booklet, all right, which I think you will receive a physical copy, of course, if you purchase the whole package. On top of the booklet, all right, you will also receive enough material, okay, to perform Control-C, I don't know, about above 200 times, I think. So for $200, you can perform it like about 200 times, all right? So, well, I mean, if you do the math, each performance will cost you just about $1 or so. Now, when talking about the material as well, okay, which you are provided, another question people would like to ask is, are refills available? And I will tell you this, okay? I don't have the package, all right? I don't have the package. However, I've managed to find the exact kind of props, okay, material that will work for me over here in Singapore. So they are just store-bought, really cheap. I bought like a whole bunch of everything that I need to perform Control-C with. So, well, you're not just buying physical like props, that itself, right? You're also buying a piece of knowledge. So for that price, once you know the information, once you know how it works, you can really, as I have, okay, just look around your stationers and find material that is suitable for you to use this again and again for the rest of your life. Or, I think if you really can't find what you need, Chris does also sell the refills, in a little package, I think, for like, I don't know, $30, $35 or so. So you can go that route, or you can also just look them up at your local stationers, and I'm very, very sure that you will find stuff that is suitable for you to use to perform Control-C with. When it comes to setup, okay, there is going to be some really quick setup. Okay, so to perform Control-C, to prepare one set of stuff for one performance, literally just takes you, I don't know, if you really take your time, 15 seconds. Okay, it's really, really quick to set up one particular set. Okay, so if you are going to be performing this, many times, and you see yourself using this quite regularly, just sit down for, I don't know, half an hour, and you can make up a whole bunch of sets to last you for really many performances. So now comes the time that I tell you about the sequence of events that takes place when performing with Control-C. Okay. Now, as with what Luca Volpe has done, I will take you through pretty much almost exactly what a spectator will see. However, I will be leaving out just one little detail. So to perform the routine, you bring out an envelope like this, okay? You can let a spectator handle it, they can, check it out, and it is really opaque, all right? It's an opaque envelope. You open up the envelope. Inside that envelope, you remove another envelope, okay? And again, you can let them handle it, they can check it out, and it is really opaque and normal as well, okay? So it's completely ungaffed. You open that envelope up. Inside, they will remove a blank business card, okay? And they will make a drawing, okay? So in this case, let's say they've drawn a flower, all right? Now, the thing is, I'm going to talk about the conditions as well. When they are doing their drawing, okay, as they are making their drawing, you can be, in fact, you should be, preferably, be turned away, okay? And you can just like walk away and stand like in a corner of a room, all right? Away from them. Make it clear to them that you are not peeking at this, you're not looking at this card at any point in time. Once they've made their drawing, they are to then, by themselves, all right? Remember, they do this by themselves, with you standing far away, right? they've made their drawing, they then seal it inside this envelope, okay? From there, this envelope, okay, is placed into the other envelope, just like that. This unit is then placed in between their hands, their palms, and they press it down just like that. Now, from this point is where I will stop the description, because from here, what will happen is this, or rather not what not will happen, what will happen, what will not happen, what will... From this point, something will happen, okay? Obviously, okay guys, you have to do something to get the information. That something is what you're paying for. I do understand that you want to see that something in action, but it will not pass magician's scrutiny, I think, okay? Especially since you are watching out for something and you want to figure out method. So if you're watching this and you're with the intent to figure out method, I don't think it will withstand scrutiny, alright? But once they've made their drawing, it's sealed up into the envelope just like that, they place it in their hands like this, something will have to happen, you will have to do something to get information, but from there, you will have it, okay? You will have the information and then you will be able to do the duplication from that point. Alright, now I will tell you this, okay? The drawing that is inside this envelope, you do not see, okay? You do not see the drawing that is inside this envelope. You do not have to touch this envelope, alright? You do not touch this card, you do not peek at this card at all. Once this unit is given to the spectator, they have it in their possession all the way, they handle it themselves. You do not at any point in time touch this envelope. There's no need to for you to get the information. So all these conditions, I think, has to be stressed, okay, when using this particular method, because that is what, you know, the strong point, I think, is about, right, when it comes to using this method, okay? So you have to stress to the spectator that at no point is this envelope, you know, touched by you, at no point do you handle the card at all, okay? This really just stays in their possession the entire time, and yet you will be able to get to the drawing. And a couple more points, all right? As they make their drawing, okay, this is just made on one card itself, all right? It is not held up against a notepad of some kind, okay? It's not held up against, I don't know, some other clipboard of some kind. You really just have them draw the picture on the card itself, all right? So it's not, you know, leaned on anything at all. The card and the envelope, they are not switched, okay? There are no switches involved. It is really the same envelope that they get to put into their pocket. Also, the card itself, all right, is not removed until you have committed yourself to a drawing, okay? Which means until you have done your revelation, this does not have to leave their possession at all. They keep a hold of this the entire time. And again, of course, because, you know, it uses a regular card, regular envelopes, everything can be kept by the spectator as well at the end of the routine. So my opinions on Control-C, all right? Well, I think it is a really fair-looking way of doing a drawing duplication, okay? In fact, the conditions that make it so fair are exactly the conditions that you need to stress to the spectator when you're using this method to perform a drawing duplication, all right? Because remember, they can make their drawing like far away from you and you can be turned away the entire time. There's no like peeking involved, you know, you don't have to look at them draw, you don't have to peek at the card itself, you don't have to handle the envelope. They can make their drawing away from you, they stick the card into the envelope, you know, themselves, and then from there you can proceed with the routine. So the conditions are really fair, all right? It feels really fair, I think. Okay, so as I mentioned earlier, this is not a new method, okay? Because this kind of a thing has been done before, has been used before, okay? But what I think you are buying here, all right, what I think Chris is selling you is the application or the choreography that makes it work in this particular instance. And with regard to that little bit, okay, of the choreography that has been deleted from my description, from anyone's description of this effect, from the trailer, you know, as well. Well, that bit is really what makes Control-C kind of makes sense, and it's really the core method behind the whole thing, okay? So the reason why Chris can't show you that part, okay, is really because if he does, you can just watch it and kind of figure it out, all right, and then just perform it without buying it. That is really the reason why you will not see an uncut performance anywhere. However, that moment, all right, is justified within the context of the routine, okay? Within the process that you're using to do the duplication, that moment will kind of make sense. So again, guys, let me just tell you this. I've known of this for a long time, all right? For about a year or so, but I've not performed with it, okay? And again, it's not because I don't like it, it's not because it's a lousy method, you know, it's not because it doesn't work, it's not dependable, nothing like that, okay? It really works, it is dependable, it's a strong method. It really just comes down to preference, okay? Personal preference, all right? As I've said before, you guys can already perform a drawing duplication, okay? If you are watching this video up to this point, I can almost guarantee you can already do a drawing duplication using any of the various methods that are out there. The only thing is whether you have a preference for one method over the other, right? There is a reason why one guy is doing a drawing duplication one way and another guy is doing it another way, right? It's all because of preference. So I think what you need to ask yourself is, can you already do a drawing duplication? And if you can already do a drawing duplication, are you happy and are you satisfied with the conditions with which you perform a drawing duplication under? Because, you know, if you are happy with the way you already do this particular effect, you know, a drawing duplication, then you don't really need this, do you? And it's not cheap, all right? It's going at $200. So if you are already happy, all right, with the way you do it, then I don't think you need this. But if you watch the trailer, if you read the ad copy, after listening to the various reviews of this product, after reading comments on you know, forums and stuff like that, if after all that you are still convinced that this is something that you can picture yourself using, all right, based on the conditions, remember, based on the conditions that you can do this duplication under, then it can be something that you can consider picking up, okay? Now again, it is $200. Yes, it is $200. However, we all do tricks with like expendable items, okay? And I mean, I'm sure there are, you know, some tricks where, you know, stuff are torn up, you know, stuff are destroyed, cards get signed. We all have like kind of operating expenses, I suppose, you know? So each time you perform Control-C, it will cost you about $1 or so, using the props from the package that you buy for $200. But after that, because of the knowledge you have gained, you can kind of pick up all the props yourself from any stationers really cheaply, okay? So I suppose it's kind of like an entry kind of a price. But at the end of the day, you know, it's really up to personal preference, all right? The justification that is used within Control-C, well, it might work for you, it might not work for you, and there's really no way to find out without actually buying this. Now, the justification is kind of like, I say it's really up to you, your preference, because, well, I mean, there's really no way to check that, how should I put this, that spectators won't remember certain things. You know, we often hear this, right? You know, oh, they will forget that they wrote anything down, you know, or oh, they will forget that they didn't shuffle the cards, right? But how do you know, right? How do you know, right? We in theory, those are things that we as performers, as mentalists would like to believe, but there's really no way for you to know that for sure unless you ask spectators. So while the justification is kind of sound, okay, I'm sure it works for Chris, obviously, but while it is sound, it might vary from person to person, right? Whether it is something suitable for you, whether you can pull it off or not. So that really is all I can say about Control-C, you know, without giving away too much, all right? So again, it is not like a new method altogether, but it is a choreography, all right, that you are buying to use this method this way to create a certain impression in the minds of your audience. If you would like to pick up a copy of Control-C for yourself, I will leave some links in the description box down below. But again, guys, thanks for watching today's episode. You know, I do know that it's not really useful for those of you out there who are really, you know, demanding, right, to watch a full uncut performance, but I do know of some people who use CTRL-C, and they seem to like it a lot, you know. Luca Volpe as well does mention that he uses it in a very specific way, all right? I'm trying to be careful because YouTube is more open than his Facebook group, so Luca uses it in a very specific way, which I think is probably the way to go if I were to use it as well. But at the end of the day, you know, I do realize that we can't satisfy everyone, okay? So I do hope that by doing this review, I do help you at least a little, you know, to gain some more insight as to whether CTRL-C is for you or not. So that's all I have for you today, guys. Once again, hope you enjoyed today's episode. Until the next episode, do stay safe, take care of yourselves, and I will see you on a future episode of Nique Chats.